Welcome to the Imperial Script. I am your host, Lady Renee. Tonight, I am not inviting you in. I am simply letting you peek behind the silk curtains. This is the debut of my novel, Whispers to the Dragon, a story of thrones, power, and silence. Chapter 1: The Dragon's Door. The city of Tanzania had not slept since the bells tolled. 2 nights had passed since the funeral chimes, deep, echoing, metallic, rolled across the hills and rooftops, signaling that the emperor had taken his final breath. The imperial palace, normally a momentum of order, had descended into something between grief and disorder. The palace was not silent, it only pretended to be. As Lan Han made her way through the outer courtyard's eastern wing, she heard everything others pretended not to notice. The muffled weeping behind closed doors, the soft rustle of silk as maids ran to fetch water, the whisper of feet too afraid to echo. She passed several court women, none bowed. Some sniffled. One looked like she'd been crying for hours. No one stopped her. Perhaps they didn't recognize her, or perhaps they did and simply thought she wouldn't make it back. She didn't wear mourning silk, only thick wool, layered for warmth. A plain robe, hem slightly damped from the courtyard frost. She had chosen every thread deliberately. A princess's robe would have drawn attention. A scholar's daughter in black could walk unnoticed, even to the doors of a prince. One of the late emperor's unique eunuchs, an old, bent man who spoke only once to say, "He's still here." Now he was gone. She stood alone before the door. She didn't knock, but she didn't enter either. 2 nights ago, she had been seated at dinner with her mother when the bells sounded. No warning, no messenger, just the chimes. 13 rings, the number reserved only for the Son of Heaven. That night, while others wept, Lan Han made a decision. If she waited a day longer, she would miss her chance. The mourning period would end, the ministers would settle, and someone else would become the most powerful woman in the empire. She wanted that title. She wanted Empress. Her clan had never admitted out loud, but the Han line was dying. Once respected, now largely forgotten. Her uncles were cautious, her aunts content with embroidery and small tea gatherings. Her cousins, bright enough, male and female alike, spoke of ambition but waited for someone else to seize it. Lan Han would not wait. She had spent her life with books. Her father had recopied the classics, passed her scrolls meant for men, and filled her mind with the wisdom of strategists and poets. But she was not a poet. She didn't want a scholar husband. She wanted fire. No offense to her father. He was a kind man, but she had always wanted more. And so she came here, to the Western Wing, to the one man everyone else feared too much to approach, Prince Chen, the fourth prince, now the 9th emperor, though the coronation was still weeks away. He had never been the oldest, never the youngest, but somehow he was always the one people watched or avoided. He was the kind of prince people whispered about in corners. He never shouted, he never needed to. His eyes, Lan Han had seen them once, long ago, were like ink poured into glass, dark, bottomless, unreadable, and behind them cruelty, not loud cruelty, quiet cruelty, the kind you feel even when he hasn't moved. Some said his face looked like a painting, delicate and cold, as if an artist had drawn a prince and then erased the warmth. His skin pale, his mouth bloodless, his hair black as ink, always tied back with gold when he appeared in court, though tonight she guessed it would be loose. Lan Han would never say it out loud, but she understood why her cousins once giggled behind saying he was beautiful, terrifyingly so. And as she stood before his door, a chill climbed her spine, not a shiver, something more ancient, instinctual. Do not enter the dragon's den. She hesitated. A part of her wanted to turn and run, but this was her only chance, and even if she feared Jian Chen, she feared invisibility more. Lan Han raised her hand, then stopped. She lowered it again, and without another breath, she slid the door open and walked in. In Whispers to the Dragon, we follow our female lead, Lan Han, a woman walking a path no one dares to pave, and Jian Chen, a man fate calls a dragon, a presence that lingers in every chapter, even when unnamed. Thank you for stepping into the Imperial Script with me. I am Lady Renee, and this is only the beginning.